Yeah, I think maybe publicly heard about if there's something on the agenda. Are people here to speak about anything not on the agenda tonight?
I had sent an email last week,
With interest in the board meeting?
and I didn't know if I should come and just formally express if there's ever a zoning opening. I wanted to formally express interest in joining the board.
Thank you.
I already do that tomorrow.
We may have a vacancy. And I will wait until Melissa gets here, but that has to be finalized by the end of next week. Anybody else here to speak on? You're here for a personnel issue? Anything not on the agenda?
Excuse me,
Yes.
but is the class 3-4 situation, is that on the agenda?
Yes.
Yes, it
Yep.
is. Yep, it's right after the road foreman. You're looking at, okay. Okay.
Linda?
Okay, you'd asked about a delinquent number. The number this year is $266,736. And I know your next question is how much went delinquent last year? $172,716.59. So it is up.
Linda, can you give me that first?
I can give you the
266, what?
266.
Thank you.
It's the first, yeah. So, and last year was 172,716.59. However, you know, we're only a few weeks into it, we're down to 144.82 and 36 cents. And the other question I had is, you're doing your budget meeting on the 18th. Did you want a meal catered for that occasion, like you have in the past?
Yep.
It'd be
Make
nice.
a day of it. All the employees.
Don't want anybody passing out.
Okay. Any specific requests?
Those as well.
Okay. That's all I have. You have any questions for me?
So is that going down kind of on track with last year?
You know, it usually goes down pretty rapidly in the beginning. Part of it is payments come in that are postmarked with the wrong postmark. It's, to get a postmark, you have to physically go into the post office and ask for a postmark. You guys, with Enosburg addresses, you put that in the mail on the day it's due. It goes to Burlington and gets postmarked on the, 3 days later.
Or 6
So-
days later?
4 days later, 5 days later, and it gets here, it's not a postmark for the due date, so, it's a whole different can of worms these days with the post office. It's not automatically postmarked, it automatically gets shipped out unless it stays in town. So, kind of a learning curve, I guess.
And you have no reference on when it was mailed?
No, well,
Yeah,
only what they tell me.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, so it's,
yeah.
but, as long as you accept postmarks, that's
Right.
what happens. And the best thing is not to wait to the last minute.
No, yeah.
But we do offer, if you go online, you can do an electronic check for $1.50. I don't even know what postage is these days, but $1.50 for electronic check, which also are date and time stamped. So there's people that pay online and it's not on the first. So they're delinquent as well.
Huh.
So Cause they're all date and time stamped when people make a payment. So, bottom line is, it's due the 1st,
Right.
anyway.
There was a question about also at one point, people were wondering how that date came about, and I thought it was interesting that we've been having people pay the first Friday of November for many years, so, you know, paying in advance is an option, and paying, you know, and it happens at town meeting.
And it's been since 2016 is when it was the first Friday of November.
So the voters make a motion, you know, make that
Right,
motion and
right.
pass it, so it's them, it's not the town that makes that thing.
And there's always conversation about paying quarterly or whatever. There are a couple people that come in every month and pay. There's no reason people can't pay ahead if they
Right.
want to. We don't have a system in place for that, but we
Right.
never not take money.
So did you have many this year that the date,
Postmark?
postmark dates that were screwed up?
Between the credit cards, online and that. Well, less than a dozen.
Expensive lesson, I know that. But, that's the way it runs, right? Everyone gets treated the same.
All the same,
Exactly.
yeah, so.
Everyone gets treated the same.
Any more?
That's all I had.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Morris?
Bid on the light from Aaron Forbes. They're just. And I did not get one from Tim Kane.
This would change all the lights.
Yeah, all the lights and Mercy. Signs. Yeah, Mercy signs there, yeah. Yeah, sign the lights.
What's the number on that?
5,269.
Thank you.
We got ARPA funds left.
So I did bring ARPA, an update if we decided to do, we had talked a little bit about using some of it for the infrastructure, the Duffy Hill project match, and we talked about a pressure washer and furnace. I didn't have that number in front of me, but we can spend down the money, for sure. We just have to make a motion to do so. And I can have you do that the next meeting if you want exact numbers. I have exact numbers for the,
What the balance is left.
yeah, we have, so, I mean, I don't have the map in front of me for this piece, but.
Did you get the furnace quote?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she got it. Somewhere up there.
So the furnace
Do you
is
expect one from Tim?
9,000.
Give him a call and see if he's...
980.
It's been a while and yeah.
I think he's been away.
It's home now. Yeah, we see him last night.
So I was going to have you make a motion tonight, but we can change it, I just need to do the math. If you wanna include this and take away from the,
Is there any efficiency Vermont money available for that?
not that we
Tim
have
said no.
identified.
Sometimes they've got it used up.
So what was the furnace one then? Might as well do them together.
The furnace is 900, so he just handed this to you, so $9,980. The pressure washer was $5,565. And then I have the Duffy Hill Road project ARPA match, but if we wanna use some of that, we can do that as well.
So that new furnace is only 9,000 something? Doesn't seem, for a big furnace to carry the whole garage.
She got a quote right here, and it says the price of the furnace and then his, labor.
Is that the only bid we've got?
Yep.
Let's see.
How many BTUs is it?
I think it's 367, something like that.
I figure that'll cover that whole garage.
Yeah.
It's a lot bigger, I think. Didn't you say it's a lot bigger than, the
The
old one?
old one, 167 or 180.
It's never been anymore.
No.
Enough.
And that's plenty big enough?
That's what Larry,
Yeah.
that's what, he did a square footage of the building and
Yeah.
did the math, and that's what he
The
came.
doors open, all of it, you know, those big garage doors opened up. You'd rather have bigger than smaller, and that's
Yeah.
all I can say.
I just, yeah, I got no problem with that quote, I just wanna make sure it's big enough
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree, that's the same what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
to cover that when those doors open, recovery time and all that.
That's not like a house, yeah.
No.
That's something about, well, I wanna make sure that
Mhm.
we got one that's gonna last 20-something years,
Mhm.
because that one must be 20-something years old, isn't it?
Yeah, good.
That's using dirty old oil in it, so.
He must have took into account that the doors, those big doors opened up to,
Yeah, he's, yeah.
I would think, but.
So, regarding ARPA, if you decide that you'd like to pay for the lights as well, I have some numbers for you. So that would cover a part of the infrastructure for, the Duffy Hill Road, project. And then the pressure washer, furnace, and lights, and I can give you those numbers if you, we do have to make a motion because it's federal money. And then we would be paying, that would spend all the way down to zero.
I'd make a motion that we add the lights to the ARPA funds.
So then, I think I have a motion on there for you. I can, read it too, I think.
Want me to read it?
Yeah, and then instead of Duffy Hill project,
Yeah.
you would do $8,689.72. And then, add the $5,269 for lights. So that would be the motion. So, do you want me to,
And the furnace? Or no?
so do you want me to read it, or do you want?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so, all right, a motion, I'd entertain a motion from, Ron to use $8,689.72 for the Duffy Hill project match. $5,269 for the lights as bid. Let's see, $5,565.62 for the new pressure washer, and $9,980.35 for the garage furnace, bringing the ARPA balance to zero.
I'll second that.
Any other errors, comments? All those in favor?
Aye. And that pressure washer that's Milton rental, or Franklin rental.
And that pressure washer is in our warrants for tonight. So, well, you got anything else?
No,
So, the Menard Road reclassification, we had, a process error with procedural error in the way we move forward. We need to make a motion before we do anything to reclassify any roads. So, that's what we need before we can make any plans to visit or anything like that. And just to recap, the Menard Road is 2.6 miles long. There is a 0.15 mile class 3 road segment as you come from the south. That is followed by 0.59 miles of class 4 after that. If you're coming from the north, the class 3 road is 1.37 miles that's up to standard. There is a segment of 0.49 miles that, based on the research from the state, follow-up from me, conversations with their point people, and looking at maps, that is not a class 4 segment at this time. And we did get that verified. So the question was, does the select board want to entertain a motion to bring that 0.4, I just want to make sure I get it right, 9 miles, so it's 49 hundredths of a mile, which is about 862.4 yards, right after the driveway at 1772 Menard Road, is that your address? Right after that, to the place where that class 4 segment begins. So is that clear?
I'd like to see it on a map.
Okay. Where is the map?
So it's roughly half a mile, is that right?
Yeah.
When you say it's not class 4, what you're saying is it's class 3.
At this time.
At this time, it is class 3.
Remember you were so hip, Rob?
Now, class 3, that would be similar to like Gilbert Hill, right?
Class 3 is like from the beginning of Menard Road all the way to your driveway. That's what it looks like when there's a class 3 road. Thereafter, there's like 0.49 mile segment that is not up to class 3 standards.
Half a mile.
But yeah, there is a calculation by the state that shows what the town is supposed to receive for money for class 3 roads for maintenance. And so they want to make sure that it's either a class 3 road and that money's being used for it, or it is reclassified as class 4, which is the standard, the way in which it looks and has looked since 1969, where there was a change by the select board, per select board, that doesn't seem to have clicked with the actual maintenance of that segment.
I think the select board has been under the impression that it was a class 4 road right along.
And the roads department as well.
But it has,
Apparently from Montpelier's perspective.
Where's that half mile come to? Is that the intersection?
So it's just after the camp, that's what I hear.
Where the camp road branches up.
I think so.
It's where you turn into, I think it starts, guys,
I can remember log trucks coming out.
right, but I think it starts where you turn into the driveway for the farmhouse. It's from there up.
And I think we should.
So I didn't realize it was a half a mile, I thought it was less than that.
You shouldn't have to scratch your equipment.
I'm sorry that I don't have this for a big picture.
Right.
I should. But there's the driveway, and this is the segment that they're talking about.
Yeah.
To the campus
Came
over
in a
here.
couple times and we said,
To there.
Right. He had that camp up there, yeah. That, I don't know, who did buy that camp, Joe, who do that up there?
Billy's got it all.
He's got it all.
Now, that used to come out in 3 places. It
Yeah.
comes out at the Menard
And then,
Farm on the north. It used to come out, and it still does, by Sean's property there, on the Crosby Road or the Castle Road.
Yeah.
okay, so
And it
this
used to come
is
out on the Berry Road
the
and
section.
on the Reynolds Road.
So this is the section. Is that
Now,
right? Yeah, that's,
can we still
where are we?
ingress and egress
So
to
right
Reynolds
now it's
Road,
at, measured at
Berry Road, and
1.86.
Castle Road?
It's a class 4.
1.37.
It's not maintained.
It's
but
not maintained by the town, but it's still, you can drive and pass through it.
Even to the Reynolds Road?
wow. It's on the map, if you get the map.
Reynolds Road would be going back over the hill and going down like that.
I'm sorry I don't have this one.
Over by Joe's camp,
Yeah, up on top.
So this.
come out, I would call the old boiling place.
Yeah,
Okay, and
Um,
this
It's all
segment
After
here
John White, you know, come
Yeah.
up the sugar house, next hill,
1.6.
right after that.
there's an old bridge out there or
What they're
something.
saying is this is actually more like 1.37 miles. So
Down
when
further.
you do the measurement
You go up
from
the hill,
here, it
you got John White, had the sugar house,
town
what's
does
the name?
not want to do
Yeah.
And you got a house right after that, right after that, to the left, that's where it went.
So this is.
Yeah, there's
So
a bridge up
they're
there.
It
actually
wasn't an old
two
stone
changes.
foundation. We used to go skidoo across it. Skidoo across it years ago. Find nothing, find stones up there, but no.
Yeah, no, nothing across
At one point. And then there was this addition. They called it the addition in 1960. But when that addition happened,
The first one,
it
it's
just
everything
needed
here.
to
That was the
update
old
its
Joe's camp up there.
in terms of our brains.
3 years.
Shared understanding.
Lived there all my life and it's never,
This
Down
map is
down the road
from
from
site.
Bernard's,
So
from that way,
the
but
roads-
it's never been over to the Reynolds Road.
Yeah, yeah.
Just trying.
He said
See,
you
what they're
you
saying
go up
is
that way and you turn
We're
left
gonna
and come on
add,
Castle.
that, you know, they said
And by
that
Joe
we should
Leduc,
be
come out Reynolds,
either
go straight, come out in the barrier,
adding.
shut
there's a
corner.
point-
Yeah,
there's a point kind of
yeah, I've seen that, that one over to Berry Road,
So
yeah.
to this point, 5.9.
That's all class 4 stuff.
0.49.
there's really no change.
You don't know
Started
what-
as town,
what's
it was
town trail,
less
what's
than
class
it's been a class 4 road.
Otherwise, we need to
No, it's not landowners,
bring
it's the
all of
town.
that segment.
Town trail, town
Trails,
As far as I know.
We went to the back street.
That's why I ended up,
As of right now, everybody understood.
you know, 100, town road ends there.
Right.
And then it's town trail.
Right.
So is that, does that help clarify?
Kathy,
We're still not really clear exactly where, all these things start and stop.
Right, so the process that the state requires that us to go through is, first there would be a motion to proceed with exploring if it should be a class 4 or class 3. Then there would be a site visit, and people who are interested parties would receive certified mail that tells us that there's gonna be a site visit. So you would be able to be there at the time, and then there would be a conversation, a walk and a talk, to decide what we're looking at. And then afterward, there would be warned community dialogue, so that there can be input and a discussion. And then the select board will make a decision. So before anything gess changed, I'm actually pretty sure that even with, like, you have to warn a 30-day thing, so we're not even talking about, right away. You know, we're talking about, this is a long process.
But the half mile that you're talking about is from the Menard driveway for 1/2 mile?
It's from, what is it, one?
Sat tanks maybe, I mean, where does it start?
I mean,
It would be 1.23
that's a private
miles
walkthrough.
from the end of the road.
Because from our point of view, there is
1.37 miles, excuse me.
there is no change. We're gonna maintain the road as we have for the last 50 years or whatever.
I mean, I really think what happened was they did throw it up before to a class 4
Right.
and didn't properly get the paperwork done. I think they made motions that probably was back when Francis, those guys, were Herbie and them, and nobody did the complete transition, I guess you'd say. So that it showed up somewhere with the state. Now the state, every year we have a thing we have to verify, we have so many miles of town road. And then they were coming around, I guess they're doing an aerial,
Yeah.
you know, with drone, I don't know what that was. But it says that, it says we still, we're like, no, that was given up 50 years ago. And that's where it's all coming out, that's why it's showing up.
And excuse me, but from my point of view, what we've been doing, David, isn't good enough. We haven't been keeping that road up the way we should have been keeping it up. And I've learned a little bit about the bylaws in this town the last couple of years. And one of the main priorities in those bylaws is to support agriculture. And not maintaining that road isn't giving agriculture a whole lot of
Well,
support.
you can't say we didn't maintain it intentionally, because we really thought the thing was a class 4
I'm
road.
not saying that.
You know, like, just
I'm
so
just saying.
we're all aware of that, though, the select board is, I've been on 20-some years, I thought the thing was given up 20 years before
And
that.
I understand, but
Yeah.
David just made the statement that we're just gonna keep doing what we've been doing. And I'm just making a statement that from my point of view, I'm not speaking for anybody else, that what we've been doing isn't good enough. Because I can remember when a log truck could go out through the Austin place and come out with a load of logs in my short lifetime. And I think a log truck should be able to do that today if we're gonna serve agriculture.
I think that's why we're maintaining it as a class 4 road, so we still have that option to access that land.
Right. We don't
We're not
want,
throwing it up and saying somebody from wherever can buy it and restrict access to it.
But if it was supposed to be kept as class 3, I think it should be kept as class 3, rather than thrown up. Isn't that what this conversation's
now
about?
it's turning into class 4.
Right.
Right.
And I'm saying, I'm here to defend it, should stay as a class 3, rather than being degraded.
Well, I guess from all the steps we need to take,
We'll go through and figure it out.
we'll do the site visit, the whole thing, to know exactly where we're, the point we're talking of. Because again, it was a revelation to us. We really thought the thing had been class 4 for 50 years.
But if it was your property and you had the choice of accessing it with a 4-wheeler or a log truck, which would you prefer?
Well, I know, like Sheldon, a couple of roads they've turned into class 4. Like Dan Burns is a private road now. I was shocked when I saw that one. I don't know if it's he wanted that, or he would read to it or whatever.
We did a good job of deflecting, Gavin, but...
No, but I'm just saying these come up. I mean, this isn't the first time. We were looking these roads all over, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, when the state was saying if you didn't put them on the map, you basically gave them up. I forget what that was all about, some title searches and people building houses that were roadways, and then turn them into a whole process on that. And we didn't even pick it up at that time. At that time, we just assumed it was a class 4 road that they had done somewhere in the early 70s.
The reality of the state of Vermont is that every segment in the town has been inventoried, and it's documented, and the measurements are clear, and they have aerial pictures now, and it's all uploaded to this map that the whole state can see. So versus walking with a measurement tool and what we're doing today, this is where we're finding this discrepancy. So it's mostly a aha moment that, you didn't realize it was there.
Well, maybe no one realizes that right now, it's more of a brook than it is a road, and the water's running right down through it and wrecking it every day and night. And at least the water barriers should be maintained.
Kathy, can you show me something here?
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna bring my numbers today, because my numbers keep flying out of my head here. we're talking about Route 20,
Yeah.
this is the measurements here. Class 3 is 2.01, and
That's
class,
this segment right here.
yeah, that's .059.
Yeah,
And then down here, we have .15 of class 3,
right.
and then this is all up, this 1.86 is class 3. So altogether, this and this
Let's research it.
adds up to the 2.01.
Right, but you said 0.49, but it's 0.59, right?
Sorry, 0.59, right, it's 0.59, but what would be changed is a 0.49 segment from here to like here.
Oh, okay.
So
So this is class 4, so
This
it's
is
another,
class 4, this is class 3.
but there's a section right here.
But there's a segment, yeah, right about
Okay.
here that's
Okay.
not up to standard.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, excuse me, but class 4, I mean, does the town do anything for class 4 to maintain the water bar, or bring in a load of gravel, or do anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
So the property owner needs to keep the road up, but yet anybody who wants to go through can go through.
It's basically a public trail. That's what, the way I understand it, and
That's what,
Something don't seem right about that scenario.
Yeah.
It's at the expense of the landowner to maintain the road, but yet you gotta
It's a public-
tolerate
it
whoever
becomes a
the hell
public
wants to
trail.
come through.
Yeah, it's the same way, like up on Gilbert Hill where it ends off. Goes up through ours, it's the same thing. It's been that way since the 70s, I guess.
It's a historical, it's on the maps as owned by the town, but the town has no requirements according to state statute to keep it in any condition. So it can be all grown up, it can be whatever it is, but it's still part that's owned by the
Yeah.
town. And to throw it up means that the town would then not want it anymore, it would just close down and be owned by whoever else.
So the taxpayers on that property, they still pay school tax and property
For
tax.
property tax, yeah.
Interesting.
I know we've got a 14-acre parcel off the end of Castle Road that's off that trail that's tax rates like 2.5 times what the other lots are there, so it should be maintained road. I brought that up this year, but,
This is, what's the address again?
I'm not sure the number.
Castle.
Castle Road.
Castle.
It's right after Rich Austin's there.
So is that right past where Paul Crosby used to live?
Yeah.
Right there.
So, does the select board want to entertain more public discussion or make a motion or table the discussion? We can't table the discussion because.
We've
this-
started the process, you've got to do
Yeah.
something one way or the
Move
other.
forward and have a
Whatever the
discussion.
next legal steps are.
So at the last meeting, the select board had wanted to start the process, which means that we would need a motion to reclassify 0.49 mile, which is 49 hundredths of a mile of Menard Road, which is the length of 862.4 yards from just after the driveway at 1772 Menard Road, extending to the current class 4 segment, which ends at 0.74 miles from the southernmost end of Menard Road. If you agree with that, we would need a motion, so moved.
How much work is it to research it and see if it was thrown off?
I already did it. We did up to 1948. All the maps are available.
I think it's one of those things, they thought they had done it at a meeting, but didn't do it the way they should have done it.
Yeah.
So it didn't legally bind it to what they had talked about, what everybody thought they had. So it's at this point.
In that time, the only change that happened was in 1960 something, 69. When a 0.15 mile became a class 4 segment and it was added to that small piece of road. That's the only change that's happened.
So let's make the motion and get the process going and we'll have the discussions and figure
At
out.
least you know exactly what you're talking about and what you guys know.
So is there a second on that? Hold on for 1 second. Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second it, just so we get this thing cleared up one way or the other.
Okay, so then would there be further discussion?
Well, those of us who own land up in there would like to see it maintained, at least to where it's supposed to be maintained.
So what's the next process? Say this
Right.
gets voted yes. Next process, 30 days or
There's a
something.
30-day warned site visit. So everybody can go out to the site, really take a look at what we're talking about. There would be discussion there, and then there would be at least one hearing. So that you would, after that, there would be another warned meeting, so that there would be discussion after the visit. So this is the way to open the conversation, make sure it's on record, we have, so that it's not lost in the historical archives again, that we've talked about it, we identified it, we made a decision. The decision is not happening right now. The decision is the select board is interested in doing this. Then the discussion will go back to the community and we'll have
Is
that.
the 30-day period, can you do a visit before 30 days? Doesn't have to go full 30 days before we can do a visit. I mean, it'd be smarter to do it when we can actually see what we're doing.
Yeah, we can do it at any time from here to whenever.
That's why I wondered.
As long as it's before the end of the fiscal year. So we need,
Maybe we talked about
we
it.
we identified a date, but we didn't do the motion at the last meeting.
Okay.
So now we passed the amount of time that we need to move that date forward. So we have to find a
Where
new
the big
date.
rock is, and at least, I guess.
But to me, if we're gonna make a visit, let's do it when you can see exactly what you've spoken of. You know, about the water and the roads and all this kind of stuff, so no need going up when it's full of snow and ice in there.
Excuse me,
Yeah, go ahead.
but did I just witness a motion being made?
And seconded,
And
and now there's
seconded.
discussion with the select board.
And the motion is to degrade it from what it is.
It's to start the process to actually go visit, have a site visit to see what it is.
The motion has.
Nothing can be done till after that, in a public hearing, and then a vote taken.
Right,
There's
the
no
motion-
vote on it right now.
No, there is a
At
vote.
at this time, the select board has no opinion
So
of
this-
whether they
I
want
can
to
reread
degrade
the
it or
motion.
not.
I think you're asking me to reread the motion, which is that the select board is making a motion because they have discussed this and they want to have a process thereafter. They've made a motion based on the historical records and this conversation to reclassify. They are making a motion to reclassify. It will not go into effect, listen, this is the process by state statute, it will not go into effect until after all of the hearings take place, and then there will be another discussion and motion.
There'll have to be another vote
Do you
to
have a
actually
point of
do
order
something.
question that goes
It
with
can't be done,
the
it's
state
not gonna be done
statute or
tonight.
against the state statute?
I don't know if it does or if it doesn't.
Okay,
My question is, what is the incentive for the select board to be in favor of degrading the road?
so that based on the discussion that we heard tonight, they had the conversation that it has always been at a standard that is subpar to class 3 standards. We've never worked on those sections the way they thought, the state says we should have. And it seemed to everybody that at one point, there was probably a class 4 throw up or a class 4 reclassification that wasn't documented. Based on those facts, the select board has made that decision.
It really comes down to the cost of upgrading it to class 3. It's a,
Right, but if we'd have done it all along like we've done on
Right,
other
you're right.
class 3
Yeah,
roads,
no,
we would be having this
That's
conversation.
right, you're right. But, I mean, that's the discussion, so,
But, it's a big but.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be necessarily made into a big 2-lane road, but at least keep it passable.
It's gotta meet
But that's-
class 3, state class 3 standards.
Which would be nice.
Yeah, we got 5 months a year, we got access up into there to,
Yeah.
for our sugaring operations.
Pretty much 12 months.
So it would have to be plowed too, right?
Class 3 does. So I heard a motion and a second is, do you wanna call it?
All those in favor?
I'm in favor of getting started, get this, so we settle it one way or the other. It won't be, another bunch won't in a few years be going through the same thing.
So
And the state will still be after us if we don't do something.
They'll find 100 feet somewhere else next year, so.
does the select board wanna identify a date tonight for a visit, or do we wanna wait until the thaw, or does the select board have an idea about what makes
I mean,
sense?
we discussed going up there before the
Yes,
budget meeting.
and then, but now, because we didn't have the motion first, that requires a 30-day timeframe
Doesn't matter,
And
we
the
do it with
30
any
day-
time within the 30 days, I said,
after.
let's go look at it
But we can't.
when we can truly see it.
Yeah.
There's no sense going up if there's 2 feet of snow up there.
So we're gonna miss that date if we count all the days. So we can't keep that date because it doesn't work with the powers that be.
No, but if these guys, I mean,
Yeah, I don't see why you'd wanna wait till you can't tell what the hell you're gonna do, what you're gonna have to do.
right,
So you're saying we have 30 days from today?
30 days from the date that we visit backwards. So we have to count, 30 days from today, or 30 days from tomorrow, or 30 days, whatever. That will just dictate when you go up there. Count 30 days from whatever.
So can we go up next week?
No, we have to go 30, we have to post it for 30 days.
Okay, so we can't go visit until.
Why can't they, in the meantime, when this is posted, why can't the select board with the property owners go view it?
I
don't
can ask
understand
that
it.
question if you'd like.
Well, yeah, I don't think they're gonna tell you not to.
Well, they did. They told me that the process is that you have to have a 30-day warned meeting in order to have a visit with a discussion with the community about, based on the process.
But we
I mean,
could
I'm
go up
just
with the property owners
saying
and
what
take a
they're
look at
telling
it.
us.
you can do both.
Well, do both if you have to, but at least this way you'd be looking at it when you could actually,
You'll be seeing what's there.
yeah. I wouldn't waste my time going up there, there's 2 feet of snow,
We
look
got
at
a
the
foot of
thing.
snow next week.
Yeah,
So they could go up individually, they just can't go as a board.
Right, exactly.
we can warn it as a meeting of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you
it
can go
won't
as
be
a
the
board.
official, but it won't be the official visit. The official visit by state statute will be
Right,
done.
so when there's 4 feet of snow and some clown from the state wants to go up, we'll
Yeah,
make it
send
the
them up.
official one and say, there you go, bud.
Yeah, we also don't have to do anything until the end of the fiscal year.
Pick a day and time, warn it, and let's go, just.
Well, if we don't, it'll just drag along like everything else, and nothing is done. Neither side's very happy because nothing's getting done, one way or the other. Oh,
So this will be warned as a special meeting. It won't be warned as the official meeting that includes, the official meeting will include mailing that has a certified mail process. So this will just be a special meeting warned for the 18th, I believe, at 8:30.
You wanna go before that?
I wanna go take a look at it when we can actually look at it.
We can have 24 hours for a special meeting anytime.
Yeah. Is there a date that would work for you folks on there?
I think probably after lunch would be the best time, looking at around 1 o'clock or something like that.
Probably whenever you guys want to do it, we'd have to try to.
Do you have a special date that would work or not work for you?
Like a high appointment on the 9th.
Yeah.
Anytime, we'll make it work, so, yeah. I was looking at the weather a little bit, but weather's.
For you, Sean,
This
Friday
week
might be the best
pretty
day,
good.
right?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
What day?
Thanksgiving.
Well, Sean's in town right now, and Friday would probably be the best day, if that would work for you guys.
Well, it all depends on that model of the weather coming in, whether we get the 2 foot or the inch.
Well, maybe going up there in some nasty weather would be the best time.
Yeah.
You get to
I'd walk around my own woods in nasty weather, so. Do you want to plan on Friday? Something could work? Sean's here with,
I'll try, I got work, but
I don't know, that far ahead. Just schedule it, the ones that can go.
yeah. Why don't we say Friday, try to around 1 o'clock then, see if that fits into people's schedules. Will that work for you guys?
Works for me.
So the first one is to visit and take a look. And that'll be Friday at 1 o'clock. And I'll post it as
We'll
a
all know
special
exactly
meeting.
what the hell we're talking about.
Have a lot better idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wanna do it before it does get, because otherwise, you might as well wait till spring to do something.
You got copies of the description?
I can get that to you. Did you give me your email address on
I can't.
yeah. If you want copies of maps and things, I can get that to you. So, okay. For sure. Anything else?
So this looks like the
So we have personnel meeting, excuse me, executive session.
Thank you, gentlemen.
To
See you
read-
later, folks. See you Friday.
Thanks, good to see you.
Appreciate
Have a
the
good one.
consideration.
Thank you. I'll get back to you.
Is anybody on this?
Is the one?
Is anybody on the Zoom meeting or anything?
Oh, no, I can turn this on.
Don't take nothing out unless somebody's here. I hate that thing. Oh,
Yeah.
mother of God, let's smash it.
You've got water you can drop on it.
Oh. You're staring at your nose every time you make a noise.
Goodbye.
Sure.
So what do we want to do next? We got,
We have an executive session for two purposes.
okay, yeah, two people or two purposes?
Two purposes, both for, excuse me, personal matters. So there are two individuals here to talk about personal matters separately from each other.
Yep, I'll make a motion to enter executive to discuss personnel.
I'll second.
Who would you like to go first? Or, no?
Who wants to make the motion?
Make a motion to come out of executive session.
Seconded. Personnel issue discussed and resolved, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, discussed and resolved.
And
You gonna make a motion?
Oh, one of you guys do, I don't want to.
I'll make a motion to appoint, we're gonna appoint Robert
currently,
Carmen for zoning administrator,
pursuant to the letter,
pursuant to the letter of,
Letter of engagement or employment.
What letter?
the letter of employment.
Oh,
Is that all you need? Seconded?
second. You did, Gavin?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye. Make a motion, we accept the minutes. Let's get this thing moving along and ended.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye. And you've done those,
need the warrants. Make a
Yeah.
motion to approve the warrants.
Are they good or are they gonna be signed again?
We have two people sign, I think it's only two that's
Yeah.
required, so we're good.
Right, but was the cover letter right, or is that gotta be,
Is the cover letter what?
the thing we were signing that I said there was two of them?
Yeah, that's right, and we don't need that one signed. So
Okay.
it's, you're all.
So it was just the second page, so
Yeah.
it was duplicated?
It was
Okay.
just duplicated.
Gotcha.
so you feel comfortable with it?
So,
Motion to accept warrants.
second.
all those in favor?
Aye. Yeah, we're moving right along.
So I request that so the Emergency Communications and Dispatches Services contract came from St. Albans City in the amount of $27,900 for FY '25. And the select board, if you would like to accept this, we would just need a motion and a signature.
How much is that up from last year?
It's a couple $1,000s, it's not a lot more.
I'll make a motion, we accept it.
Second.
Yeah, sign.
Yeah, a signature right here, please.
Get it done, then we'll-
Not like you have much choice on that one.
Yeah, there's another, I've done a little research and it's really the most local, most efficient option. I'm trying to find my notes here, they've been swallowed. I do know that we had discussed having representatives come to our next meeting, and they agreed, I just want to make Good, so, Randy Brock, James Gregoire, Bob Norris, and, they suggested that I invite Matt Walker, who is on the House Transportation Committee. So they've agreed to come to the next select board meeting to discuss, the priorities that you wanted to discuss with them.
So you're having a budget meeting the 18th?
Yeah, Brian, I think at our last meeting, the discussion was to invite them to the first meeting
I think we ought to postpone that a little bit
in November.
and, have our specific questions, unless you guys know what you're gonna ask, but,
No, but I think it's an excellent idea you've got there, Rob.
what's that?
That's an excellent idea you got there.
Yeah.
So you've got formulate some kind of,
They sit here and we're like,
yeah.
Right. Can we take half an hour at our budget meeting
Yeah,
and come up with a list of,
come up with a list of them. I think that would
Might-
be wise, so
might be
when you
good.
spoke with them, you had a rational,
spend the morning looking over how bad our numbers look and then say, hey, these are the questions you gotta address.
yeah,
So postpone to the first meeting
So
in
I'll
January?
cancel the meeting with them that I've already confirmed.
I think we ought to at least have a good plan before they come
Okay.
in.
Yeah.
So I'll cancel that.
Well, we thought we'd try to get them before they went back to the legislature.
Yeah,
When do you have them scheduled for?
for the first meeting in December, so our next meeting,
December 9th, I think.
And then we have the 18th for budget, and then we had talked about the 30th for, instead of the 23rd of December for the second meeting.
Can we come up with questions before the 9th?
I think a big part of the discussion last week was about how we are funding our roads, and that the structure for from VTrans that's happening is not giving a fair shot to the municipal roads. And there's not enough money coming in or available to replace our bridges and things like that. So that was one item that we wanted to
start charging
make sure
those
was-
electric vehicles.
I think that was a big one. And then whatever else you wanted to, probably education, right? Education funding.
I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
That's another structural issue.
Well, we're gonna have to do something with class sizes and get them back somewhat up from what they used to be. Well, I think, you know. What's your kids' classes up here, roughly? What would you say there's
Mid-20s?
for each grade?
Aren't there 2 grades combined right now?
Conduct.
Yeah, there's 12 of them.
Yeah,
Health insurance.
the health insurance is a bummer.
If they have any control.
So do we wanna try to put something together before then, or do we wanna?
I don't know what other questions we have, quite honestly.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think-
don't know, bringing 3 guys in here just to ask that one little question, we could send them an email.
I think it'd be good to have.
It'd be good to get some input from them, it's like, where do you see things coming from at us?
Yeah, they're headed into a legislative session, these are our concerns, the money coming in, and we're wasting money on Parity Road that has 10 cars, you know. But we can focus on transportation and legislative planning going ahead, like,
Yeah, I think, you could do that, health insurance, roads, and
I think
just see
it's-
what their feelings, get their.
So you think we could
ideas.
generate enough conversation to get them?
Well,
I
if
think
it
it's-
seems they're probably, I think, get out of here half, 3/4 of an hour, they're gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think in that half, 3/4 of an hour, as the select board, we can provide additional input.
Would we be
Sure.
smarter that night to start earlier, like at 6? So we could get here, do our thing, and they could leave? And not
I
leave?
can find out if they're available.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the convenience for them too, is to come and be able to
They're
leave.
gonna be in I can't remember, a legal priorities session until about 3
Oh.
that day. So I could probably invite them for 6:30 or 6.
Well, that's what I'm just wondering.
Yeah. No, I think it's important to have that conversation. We have, zero contact with some of the people who are on the boards below us.
Yeah.
We should have some contact with the people who are above us.
I think it's absolutely crazy how roads are funded, coming from a different sector, seeing how this works, grant, competing for grant funds of an appropriation that's a subgroup of a massive budget that goes to the rail trail and electric
Well,
vehicles. And,
were you the one telling
it's
me
just crazy.
Brian was talking about
about how they're talking about putting a wooden bridge down what Ned Brand's on the rail
Yeah,
trail?
it's crazy.
And like, why would you spend that kind of money? You spent all this money on those bridges already, and you're gonna spend something
Quite
like
a few
that?
of those bridges are just temporary bridges.
Huh?
Quite a few of them are just temporary.
Oh,
They're gonna replace.
It doesn't make sense to have a list of 7 priorities for the region that only one gets chosen a year,
yeah,
when all of the state roads are getting redone.
yeah,
I mean, there's just a bunch of evidence that it's flawed,
Plus, you know, they don't have any money, but yeah, don't look at the money they put into that rail trail these last 2 storms.
We don't have to pave every road, but fix the bridges and culverts that are falling apart.
Get out of here, you're making- get out of here, you're
I'm
making us
gonna leave.
depressed.
The only other thing on our budget, there were 2 things. One is that I have an update for the budget that we could go over, but it's getting pretty late, so I
Yeah.
can just give that to you. And then the second one is, it's on our calendar for a town admin, my performance review. So I'm not sure when or if you want to do that this year, before the end of the year. So that would be something to discuss.
Yeah, we could discuss that one next meeting.
Okay.
I think we get through the budget thing, then
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
or
we'll-
maybe if we budget, we could talk a little bit about it there, maybe.
Yeah.
So-
Make it part of the day.
Huh?
Make it part of the day. If you're there, you might as well get something done with the whole day.
Okay. So for that, I would bring some information about what I've done and what I thought I felt good about, and then basically do the same thing that we did last time, which was you gave me some feedback about what you think I'd done well, and then some correction points,
Did
and
you
I
use
was.
them well?
I think so. I think there are a few things, and then, and if you had any suggestions, or, and I have some self-reflection. So just similar to what we did. And then, that's it, that's all I have.
Good. Got a bunch of stuff here. I don't know what. Okay, we got anything?
You got
else?
anything, Liz?
Not if you hired Robert.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he accepts.
If he accepts the letter.
Supposedly, if he accepts and signs it and emails it back, he starts on duty.
He said he'd start first of next month.
To begin.
And we gave him flexible hours. You know, we told him we didn't have to limit it to 15 to start
Did he
with.
come here today?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
he
was
said
here
he-
tonight.
And then there was a discussion, and I'll let you know what the letter looks like. I'm gonna be sending it out to these guys. I can send it to you too.
But we just figured to start out with, 15 may not work, maybe 20 or something. We told him that would be good, just let us know.
Hours, you mean?
In terms of
Yeah.
Okay.
hours.
Because he's got a lot of stuff to catch up on. And
Actually, he doesn't. I am all caught up.
Oh, maybe.
Well, God bless.
I am all caught up. I have to pass it off to Linda still, but I've actually done, I have a couple of things I still have to search for Kathy, but and the voicemails are all it's all caught up.
And the office is great.
It's like all caught up.
It'll
Beautiful.
make it a lot easier for Robert to start for sure.
Well, yeah, like the horror of walking into a mess would be a little scary, but I think it's actually in pretty decent shape.
Are you still getting a lot of applications?
No,
It's not slow, it's peaked or whatever.
I mean, we have 3 in December, but it's fine, it's
Yeah.
manageable. I don't really know why it was so challenging to keep up with the paperwork.
time.
Lack of available time to dedicate. I did all of the paperwork from March till now, and I did not spend 10 hours per week to do it. So I don't know where the suggestion that this should be a full-time job comes from.
Mm-hmm.
I did spend maybe 3 or 4 days,
Yeah.
all day, but I'm catching up on
Yeah.
8 months of work. So I don't know, and I don't know what I'm doing either, so just that
That's why,
computer.
That's not true.
that's why I went faster.
The computer is a mystery to me. It's a mystery. It's really good to have Linda here, so she's a good resource
Yeah.
to show me how to do things that I didn't know how to do, so.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a learning curve for him, I mean, you know.
Well,
He's done
exactly.
some, but he's gotta learn too, and like, we told him you and Linda and regional planning.
Regional planning, and Melanie.
Melanie would
Melanie
come in.
has offered also.
Yeah.
Good of her.
Yeah, well, we'll pay her, but
Yeah, still.
it was really nice of her to say she would do it. And
Nice
it'll
offer.
help.
Yes, I think it'll work out, we're hoping.
Is there anything else?
That's it.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor, done.